hot rod in Hollywood.
Oh my God!
A week after the turn that saw Kama returning to TV and Ahmed Johnson turning heel with both joining the Nation, the new group came out to open Raw with Ahmed Johnson cutting an aggressive promo threatening Vince McMahon, building up to the planned Undertaker vs. Johnson pay-per-view title match in 13 days. Eventually confronted by the debuting DOA coming out on motorcycles, starting a big brawl in the ring to open the feud. The segment set up the eventual Stables program but ended up changing other plans, as Ahmed Johnson ended up reportedly injuring his knee during the brawl, with the company trying to come up with a replacement on the spot during the show. WCW coming after two of the biggest shows in company history over the last 2 weeks in Boston and Chicago, opened with Page out to set up the main event for tonight, challenging Scott Hall, with both companies' programs opening up with a 2.2 rating. With his signing expected in the near future, Dan Severn was on commentary during Ken Shamrock's match with Billy Gunn, starting the build to the eventual match between them based on their shoot rivalry, coming in Detroit's Cobo Arena in the same building of their last fight at UFC 9, with Vince on commentary putting over UFC Big to the point of questions about co-promotion with the company. WCW had Eddie Guerrero's first promo since coming back from injury, continuing the heel turn, trying to get out of the match against Syxx by offering it to Chavo, along with Chris Jericho against Alex Wright also in the same quarter. In a show angle 2 weeks from Canadian Stampede, the Hart Foundation attacked their opponents in the main event tag match throughout the show. LOD and the Godwins went 4 minutes in a match built on a neck injury suffered a few months back, ending up with the Hart Foundation's interference, with Bret Hart coming out on stage in his first TV appearance since the Shawn Michaels shoot fight. Heyman was out on commentary for the continuation of the ECW angle for a Sabu vs Flash Funk match, promoting the next ECW pay-per-view and making several shoot comments, including shooting on Eric Bischoff and a rare mention of his name on McMahon's TV, saying that Bischoff might tell the audience that Public Enemy invented the table spot but it was Sabu who really did. At the same time, while Raw climbed slowly, WCW jumped big with over 600,000 viewers for the Steiner brothers against Harlem Heat, going 9 minutes, with the Steiners going over to set them up for a title match against the Outsiders, with Scott promising that it's gonna happen next week in the already hyped Nitro from Vegas, hyping at least a confrontation between them on the night that WCW promoted for weeks for the debut of a major name set for the show. Heyman continued to stir things up on commentary, responding to JR saying that he hopes Heyman understands what the company is doing for him here, with him getting to plug his next pay-per-view in front of their TV audience, saying that he knows, which is why he's here now and not on WCW TV. Steve Austin was off the show with neck, back and knee injuries, with him set to return on the weekend to the full-time schedule. Austin's only appearance on the night was a phone call during a Mankind vs Bulldog match, which saw Foley continue to campaign to be Austin's partner. Austin talked about all the injuries suffered in the last month and the medication he's currently on, hyping his return for the Big House show on Saturday, as both companies will go head-to-head in high-profile house shows in the same LA market, making it one of the only times during the era where non-televised events were the big talk and focus of the week over Monday's TV, with both companies going all out with big star power cards. WCW having the first Hogan-Sting confrontation, along with Flair vs Piper, Savage vs Page and Outsiders vs Luger and Giant, while WWF counters with Bret's first match back in months in a three-way against Austin and Taker, and every other top performer on the cards, with both companies sending out major names all week to LA to sell more tickets in the final days to outdraw the competition, with WCW firmly in the lead so far in sales and gate. WCW will also try something new by airing the event as an audio pay-per-view on their website, while promoting the event as the show Eric Bischoff doesn't want you to see. While Raw continued to stay steady in the same 2.5 rating range, WCW continued to gain as the show went on, gaining big over 800,000 viewers to a 3.6 rating for a loaded quarter, which saw Luger and Giant hyping the upcoming Hogan and Rodman tag match, and Syxx with Scott Hall against Chavo. Raw's peak of the night was the second half of an IC title three-way match with Owen Hunter and Goldust, promoted as the first ever triple threat match on Raw, doing a 2.6 rating for the second half of it, while Nitro climbed to a 3.7 for Mongo vs. Konnan and Piper coming out calling out Flair. At 10:30, two of the most hyped segments of the night were going on at the same time as when Flair came out on TNT. Bret Hart was out for a promo on USA for the first time since the Michaels fight on June 9. What at one point was scheduled to be Bret addressing the fight on air with him hyping his response on his Calgary newspaper article during the week, changed as Bret didn't mention the fight or Michaels, instead hyping the Stampede pay-per-view in 2 weeks, before calling out boxer Thomas Hearns for his Hitman nickname, saying that there's only one and he's in the ring right now to start a confrontation. Ric Flair came out for the Piper response, with both questioning each other, turning on the other over the last month, with Piper out shooting a movie and Flair disappearing during a tag match against Hall and Nash. Piper said that he believes him but most are not, with Flair telling him not to make the mistake of questioning him as Mongo and Benoit walked out, with Ric saying that he tried to avoid this situation. Mongo started to go off on Piper, with Flair playing off that, trying to calm them down with the idea that he doesn't want to turn on Piper, before eventually Piper attacked and Flair joined in, with the Horseman laying him out to officially set their match for Bash at the Beach in the Big House show on Saturday, with the segment bumping WCW into the 4 rating range. Raw's main event, originally set to be Ahmed Johnson and Farouk against Taker, being forced by Paul Bearer to team with Vader, ended up with D'Lo replacing Johnson in the match, and the company changing the pay-per-view title match during the show, with Taker and Vader turning on each other to set up their match at Canadian Stampede. Staying in the 2.5 rating range, going 7 minutes in the final quarter, with the nation going over. Post-match set a big cliffhanger for next week, as Paul Bearer promised to finally reveal Taker's secret in a segment for next Monday to go against WCW's Big Vegas show. WCW's main event of Scott Hall vs. Dallas Page peaked the night with a 4.2 rating, as Randy Savage came out with Hall attacking Page during the match to bring out Sting to a big reaction, continuing the question on who Page's partner would be in the Bash pay-per-view tag against Hall and Savage, with the company promoting next Monday to be one of the biggest shows of the year, with the hype of a debuting Impact player in addition to another surprise appearance in Vegas.